Imagine a vast, wind-swept mountain range. The air is thin and crisp, the land is rugged, a tapestry of rock and hardy grasses stretching as far as the eye can see. Here, in the high Tian Shan Mountains of Central Asia, a remarkable sight unfolds each spring. Pushing through the stony soil, a single brilliant cup of color emerges. It is a wild tulip. This is where the story of one of the world's most beloved flowers begins. Not in a manicured garden, but in the untamed wilderness. The bulb, a compact package of nutrients buried deep underground, waits patiently through the coldest months. The tulip's journey out of the mountains began when it traveled east and west along the ancient trade routes. But it was in the powerful Ottoman Empire that the tulip truly found its calling. Here it was no longer just a pretty flower. Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, a great patron of the arts and architecture, was also a passionate gardener. He ordered his gardeners to seek out the most beautiful and unusual tulips. The Sultan would host legendary nighttime festivals in the palace gardens during the tulip season. Hundreds of thousands of tulips would be planted. At night, countless lanterns and candles would be lit. In the Arabic script used by the Ottomans, the word for tulip, lale, was written with the same letters as the word for God, Allah. This connection made the flower a sacred symbol. The first tulip bulbs arrived in Europe in the mid-16th century. Carolus Clusius was the head of the imperial medicinal garden, and he was fascinated by these exotic new arrivals. The Dutch climate, with its cool springs and well-drained sandy soil, proved to be perfect for growing tulips. Legends say that some of the first bulbs to enter the commercial market were actually stolen from Clusius's garden under the cover of night. In the prosperous Netherlands of the Golden Age, there was a growing middle class of wealthy merchants. The tulip, with its vibrant colors and foreign mystique, was the perfect luxury item. Artists began to feature them in magnificent still-life paintings, often placing a single perfect tulip alongside other symbols of wealth like Chinese porcelain and Persian rugs. The period we now call Tulip Mania began in the 1630s. The rarest bulbs were the most sought after. These were the broken tulips, the ones with dramatic streaks and flames of color. People from all walks of life were drawn into the frenzy. Weavers, blacksmiths and farmers mortgaged their homes and sold their businesses to invest in tulip bulbs. A single bulb of a particularly prized variety, like the legendary Semper Augustus with its crimson flames on a pure white background, could be sold for the price of a grand house on an Amsterdam canal. Contracts for bulbs were traded in taverns and on stock exchanges, often for bulbs that were still in the ground. It was a market built entirely on paper promises and the belief that prices would continue to rise forever. Now, the end came suddenly in February 1637. It began at a routine bulb auction in the city of Haarlem. For the first time, the sellers found there were no buyers. Panic spread like wildfire. People who had invested everything they owned in bulbs suddenly realized their precious assets might be worthless. Everyone tried to sell at once, but no one was buying. The price of tulips plummeted. Fortunes were wiped out in an instant. Despite the financial ruin, the Dutch love for the tulip itself did not die. Once the prices returned to sensible levels, the Dutch got back to what they did best, cultivating and perfecting the tulip. Today, the world of tulips is more colorful and diverse than ever before. One of the most spectacular places to witness this modern tulip marvel is at the Keukenhof Gardens in Lisse, Netherlands. You can find tulips in almost every color imaginable, except for a true, pure blue. There are tulips with petals that are fringed like lace, pointed like a lily, or ruffled and packed together like a peony. The appeal of tulips has spread far beyond the Netherlands. Major tulip festivals are now held in many other countries, celebrating the flower's arrival as a sign of spring. So why, after centuries of cultivation, trade, and even economic madness, do we still love tulips so much? They are one of the first and most dramatic splashes of color to appear after the long, grey days of winter. The tulip's beauty is also wonderfully simple and accessible. Its form is clean, elegant, and bold. It is a cup of pure, saturated color, held up on a strong, graceful stem. Whether it is a single pot on a windowsill, a bouquet on a table, or a vast, breathtaking field of color, the tulip has a unique ability to lift the human spirit. It is a simple gift from the wild, transformed by human hands into a global emblem of beauty and hope. And each spring, as they bloom once more, they remind us of the enduring power of nature to inspire and delight us. From a remote mountain to the gardens of the world, the tulip's journey continues, a testament to beauty, human fascination, and the eternal promise of spring.